This is a quick walkthrough on TruSet for an N560 drill. TruSet is located in the ISOVT. If it doesn't show up right away, use the menu button and through the list, you will find TruSet. This is the TruSet run page. First, we'll go to the setup, and here we can configure our tool, our N560. We have that for the model, the correct spacing. Now we'll choose the SCV. This is the SCV that's used to raise and lower our openers. Now we're going to use auto for 30 series or newer and manual for non-Deere or older Deere machines. Here is from the ops manual for 30 series or newer. Note that it says if the tractor is equipped with auto track turn automation, manual mode is required. Now we'll do the calibration. This is the height sensor calibration. We'll accept, and then from the display, it gives us directions to place our opener SCV into detent. Usually detent is just the first click, but if you push it to the click and let go, you're going to get a pause. And here it says to place it in detent again. You must put it in detent till you hear the click, and then you have to hold it in detent for the raising and lowering of the disc to complete. This will happen automatically, and you'll see on the screen the progress bar, and then also the vertical bar of your disc lowering and raising. Once the process is complete, you will hit accept. The Preferences tab is where we can set up Power Beyond. We enable Power Beyond by putting a check mark in, and we also have our timed. This is the time for detent. I can adjust it to 20 seconds, and that's the time it will do detent. After that duration, Power Beyond will maintain downforce. Here you can see I use the SCV, I put it into detent, and where my opener downforce is in green, it means TruSet is active. And now on my SCV page, SCV1 is in auto, and the yellow bar is there, it's active. It's in the detent time stage. Once my 20 seconds of detent is done, you will see it disappear, and now Power Beyond is maintaining downforce. Looking at the display, SCV1 is active. I used rearward detent on SCV1 to simulate lifting the disc out of the ground as if I was turning around in the headland. As the machine would make its turnaround, and as I was going back into the field, I would use forward detent to put the disc in the ground. As you can see, the yellow bar is active for SCV1. The downforce value box has a background of green, which means TruSet is active, and I'm in the time duration of detent. Once my time is expired, you'll see SCV1, the yellow bar, will disappear. Power Beyond is now maintaining downforce, and TruSet will stay active with the green background box. Once TruSet has been configured, now I can do some options on the run page. If I choose opener, it'll let me do the increment adjustment for the opener, for the increase and the decrease. Using the keypad, I'll put in a value. We'll change it to 20, and now when I use the up and down or the increase and decrease of my opener, that value will change by 20. If I want to make it more fine-tuned, I'll use 10. For the increase and decrease, using the keypad, I'll put in the value. Now on the opener, when I use the increase or decrease, I will change that value by 10. At the bottom is where I have the presets. There are 4 presets. When I choose the preset, TruSet will use that initial value. If I want to make a change or an adjustment, I'll use the up and down arrow, and then I must hold that preset button until it beeps to save the new value. My new value is there, and now I'll give it a title. The title is the name. I can name it the value of the downforce, or if I want to give it a name, I can. Something like light soil. This is a custom option. You can do whatever you like. I find the best practice is to give it the title of the new downforce value. I'll hit save, and same on another preset. If I touch it, TruSet will go to that initial value, but if I make a change, the yellow will disappear from the preset. To save it, I must hold it until it beeps and then give it a title. I'll hit save. Here is a different view from an RDA session. We chose 270, then made an adjustment to 260. To save it, I held down the preset button until it beeped, and now I give it a title. I hit save. These presets can be selected as the machine is going down the field. If I see different soil conditions, I can use these presets. If I want to make an adjustment going down the field and then save it, I can do that as well. Looking at the display, you can see the yellow background behind the value of the downforce. TruSet is not yet active. TruSet is only active when the background is green. Once it's green, you'll see the black indicator raise up to the value of your preset downforce. I show this because sometimes engaging TruSet can be tricky. Just be sure to push the SCV switch forward detent smoothly and ensure that it's green. Here's the look of a run page for an N560F. For settings, I have Run, SFP, and Seed. SFP, I have the option to make settings to the SFP openers, and when I choose Seed, I have the option to make adjustments to the seed openers. In the SFP, if it's not in use, I can take the check mark out and I can disable the SFP from the run page, which means no downforce will be applied to the SFP openers. Putting the check back in will enable them, and now downforce will be applied. You can see on the top of the run page for TruSet, both the SFP and the seed openers have the option to increase or decrease the value. Here I can adjust them separately. On the bottom right of the run page, if I use those increase or decrease buttons, it will apply that incremental value to both the SFP and the seed. The value for the SFP opener and the value for the seed opener can be saved under the same preset. Here I have a value for SFP and a different value for the seed, but they will be saved under the same title or preset. Having a better understanding of TruSet, we can now look at some other options within preferences, like the SCV flick mode. If we enable it, we can choose between temporary and save. Looking at the ops manual, it gives a clear definition of what the SCV flick mode does and what it allows the operator to do. When it's enabled, the operator can use the SCV switch and flick it forward to increase downforce, and then you can flick it rearward to decrease downforce. Now if it's set to temporary and I flick it forward, I can increase the downforce, but it'll only save that set point until the openers are raised and lowered again. If I have it set to save, it will change the value and it will keep that value even though the openers were raised and lowered. Next, we need to verify our downforce value. With TruSet active, run the machine in the ground and then stop the machine leaving TruSet active. Get out and spin the gauge wheel on the outer wing and the inner midframe. We want resistance on the wheel. We want it somewhat tough to spin. Then we can check the seed bed for compaction. Once verified on the ground, make adjustments accordingly.